Well, hey there, volunteers. Jeremiah here. I am speaking for the whole SummerBLAST team, Janice and Megan, and I represent all of us, you guys as well. And we are so excited that you are helping out at Scuba 2024 this year. I made a bunch of short little training videos, and you're going to need to watch these. I repeat, need to watch these, because we have made our leaders training less about sitting and listening to me talk and more interactive with your peers and encouraging. So to make sure you've watched them, we have a homework sheet that you're going to need to fill in for each video and then hand in, scan it, send it to me before SummerBLAST begins. Each video will quickly cover one short topic that we as leaders need to know and understand. If you have any thoughts or questions as you're watching, please don't hesitate to email, text, DM one or all three of us. We'll get you the contacts in our meeting. We didn't want to put that out there for the world to see. Well, we wanted to make sure these videos were fun, so we reached into the vaults of social media and got some past leaders to help with these videos. We got a super young Darian and Janice from 3 years ago. Darian's 21, so that's 1/5 of his life. And there's a classic Jeremiah with long, wild, flowing hair from further back than that. I also have a few special guests from Kids Quest Online that I asked to help us. I think you're going to remember these people. But you'll see that they have some pretty crazy ideas in the videos that you're going to watch when it comes to advice. And your homework sheet will be able to write down what you think they did wrong, the advice that they gave that maybe wasn't the best, maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't, and then fill out what you think would be a better way to do it. Well, hey, these videos are going to be fun. Let's do it. I'm just going to start off by praying, and then we're going to begin. Lord, we love you very, very much. We're thankful for this time where we are, investing in the next generation. And literally half this room is the next generation. And I'm thankful for the obedience to living out the calling that you've given them. So God, you sure are good. I love you. Amen. So when I think of the next generation, I think of a story when I was a youth pastor in Lethbridge. And so I was a small group leader at first, and my boys, I call them, I started in grade 6, and I went till 3 years into university with them. And at a certain point, I said, hey, we got to do things different. And so, but they were in high school. We had a big church, so we had middle school on one night, senior high another. So they were middle school leaders when they were in high school. And then they were in college. They had high school students. Then high school students in middle school. And so we were doing this big youth conference that we would put on, and I was sitting at the back, and when an event like this runs at the end of the weekend, it kind of just runs itself, and you're just like, oh, thank you, Lord, that this was just tickety-boo. And so I'm sitting at the back, kind of like in a roll-top window like that in the gym, and in front of me was my boys. They were college age. And their boys were in front of them, high school students, and then in front of them were these middle schoolers. So in a short 10, 12 years, there was 4 generations of next gen that had been impacted by someone consistently showing up in their lives, and then we're transitioning into being leaders. So this is what I see with each one of you. And today when people stood up in the sanctuary, it was a really beautiful thing of how many people have been impacted. How many of you, I remember, I've been here 11 years now from Alberta. Some of you I remember being born. Some were the same age as my son. And you are amazing people who love Jesus and are serving. So thank you for that. But I just want to say thank you to all of you for coming out. The whole leadership team is just grateful for what is happening. And you look around this room, some of you are like, I'm just out of elementary school, grade 6, and I'm serving. Hey, you bring an energy in your newness that some of the rest of us maybe go, hey, I want energy like that, and we're excited for you being here. And so the goal for today is this: get to know each other a little bit more around our tables. And some of that maybe is just knowing a name, knowing something about a person. Right? We're going to go through our safety sort of documents, but in a different way than we have before. So we're going to prepare for that. We're going to equip you, at least in understanding what's going on. If you're young and you've never served before, we can't equip you to be the best leader in the world, but we can begin that process that when you're in grade 7 or grade 9 or grade 12, working alongside people, you're going to be a rad leader better than most places would have ever hoped to have. I want to inspire you, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. So what I want is Janice went and grabbed paper, and it's up here at the front. So everybody come and grab a piece of paper. If you want a pen, there are pens at the back or a crayon, and you're going to write down this. You're going to take a minute. This is similar to we've done a few times before. You're going to write down one super cool fact about yourself. What is your role at SummerBLAST this year? And if you're not sure, just say, I'm not sure. Hey, if people are sitting at the table, grab like 4 or 5 pieces of paper and take it for your whole table. And the last question, what do you look forward to this year at SummerBLAST? So this is you just writing this down. That's it. Take a little time, write this down. This kind of helps collect your thoughts. I'm going to give you a minute to do this. For example, my name is Jeremiah Adam Radovansky. You never hear that Radovansky except when it's my stage name. I had an extra A in there. One super cool fact about me is I used to be a competitive gymnast and could do double backflips pretty much off of every event. So men's event, there's 6 events. The pommel horse, never mind, I couldn't do a double backflip. But on anything else, I could do a double backflip, including the vault. So what is your role at SummerBLAST this year? Well, I head it up, and I just get to like humbly serve and lead you. And what do you look forward to this year at SummerBLAST? I just look forward to, kids and the families associated with them, being impacted by Jesus. So anyways, that's kind of like an example of what you're going to do. So go around. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 minutes. When your whole table's done, give me a wave so I kind of have a sense of where we're at. Go. All right. We're going to bring it back together now. Sorry if I didn't let you finish off. But I do, like I said, I want to try the best that I've ever done to get through without rushing things. I have cut things, so I want to try still to put time and energy to those things that are important. So we gave out some prizes for those that were first and second. You didn't know I was going to do that. I'm going to tell you about the homework from this year's volunteer training. So there might be a few extra videos we put online in the next couple days, and then we'll email you, hey, you need to watch this. And if there's a video that's online, there's homework that goes with it. So the people that aren't here, I'm going to have a shorter meeting with them on Sunday, Wednesday night, whenever it works, and then they're going to have to watch all the videos we watch, but to prove it, they're going to have to fill in, hey, here's what was wrong in that video. Here's what that attitude was about. Here's what the point was supposed to be. So you're going to see what these videos are about, and I want to have some feedback on them in a little bit. But our first little bit that we're going to do, so you don't actually have homework right now, you just might if there's anything we forgot, is we're going to talk about our criminal checks, our safe place, and our covenant. And so if you didn't grab one, come up and join me right now. We're going to head to the back here, and we're going to grab one. So the only thing I'm going to go over with you is the document looks like this. Sorry, there are no more up there. There's a whole ton of police checks. People on your table might have some of these. So there's 3 things in this little booklet here. A safe place. This is for you to read at home. There's a video about it. That's all I'm going to say. There's a purpose to it, and the video tells you more. The people who aren't here have homework about the video. But we have a covenant. This covenant is a covenant of expectation, right? Of belief and being, right? That your beliefs would line up with what us at South Abbotsford Church believe about different things, right? And then of being is how you act, your integrity, how you live like a follower of Jesus that is keenly aware that you represent our church, right? You represent Jesus. So anyway, so I'm going to go over the covenant. If you have it in front of you, you can share with other people. I don't know if there's page numbers, but it's like the last 3 or 4 pages of the whole book. And so if you've been here before, it's exactly the same. I like it. I don't feel it needs to change. Darian, I think, uses it. Maybe you modified. Maybe you axed it. It's FIDDY. And so 17 years ago when I was a youth pastor, 50 Cent was really big and acronyms were really big. So it's still FIDDY, okay? So the first bit of our expectations of belief and being is that you are focused when you are anywhere you're serving. So even at this meal, if you're beside your friends and you want to talk and you kind of like, oh, I've heard this before, we're asking that you would still go, hey, I'm representing Jesus. I'm a representative of this church. I want to be respectful. I don't want to be a distraction to others. So that plays out when we are in our serving opportunities, Sunday morning clubs and SummerBLAST, that we really put those friendships with our peers on hold. Rather than talking with them, rather than like, how's it going? Like, man, wasn't that movie awesome last night? I was a double king, winner in Fortnite. I don't really know what that's called, right? But that you would say, hey, while we are here, we are fully focused on our kids. So that's focused. Intentional, so F-I-T-I, right? So FIDDY, is when you are here, you're really thinking about, okay, I want to use every opportunity I have. Right? If you see a kid who's kind of quietly sitting by themselves over here, you go over to them, and even if they're not your, camper or that you're working with, because maybe you're not a crew leader, but you just say, hey, what's going on? My name's this. How come you're sitting by yourself? And maybe they got a really interesting story. Maybe they're shy. Maybe something is going on, and then you can say, hey, that sounds really tough. Can I pray for you? And maybe, don't make up stories, but you try and think it through, and you're like, hey, I was in something like that as well. I was lonely this one time when I went on vacation, and I prayed to God, and it took maybe a day, but God showed himself to me, right? So you're really thinking through, and this is maybe a muscle you have to work a little bit, right? You're kind of like, I've never had that type of conversation before, right? So you're going to be intentional in everything you're about. And really, the intentionality we want isn't just intentional about being fun, it's pointing everything and everyone to Jesus. Part of the intentionality might be you see a kid, introduce yourself, and you find out like, oh, you're in grade 4? Oh, you're a day late? I'm gonna take you to the other grade 4 leader. So rather than waiting for the leader to come and eventually find them, because they're not going to know this boy is in grade 4 just because he's a little boy, right? You take them there, and now there's been 2 interactions in the first little bit. Next one is time. So F-I-T. So there's a few things around time that you're going to see in the videos from our special guests that we really, really, really want you to be on time. So we start the first day, 8 o'clock, 8:10 the second day. This will be in housekeeping for all of our leaders' meetings. That's when we start the meeting. And then there's an inner circle. We send you to sit right in the middle of everyone if you're late. So we don't want to have everyone come at 8 or 7:45. Right? We want to start right at 8. We don't want to waste time. When I was in band, our band teacher said when we were on a band trip one time, every minute you're late, you're 55 minutes worth of people's time you've wasted. So every minute you're late, you're doing jobs at school. So like there was one time, I think I was like 2 or 3 minutes late. Like I had like 3 or 4 hours worth of, I don't know, shining saxophones or whatever it was. But I just remember like we were not late in band. So my ask is that you would be on time, asking your parents, and I get it, like sometimes most of you don't drive, so if you are a little late because of mom and dad, hey, tell them they can come in the inner circle, right? I'll talk with them. So anyways, being on time is really important. We also want you there the whole time, right? We end at 1:10, right? So it's early morning, 8:10 to 1:10, right? 5 hours. We have snacks in the middle, we have treats. But again, we are serving the next generation here, and it's not an easy thing, right? There's work that goes with that. And that you're here all the time. It's not like, 2 to 3 days, or I don't feel like coming that day, right? Of course, there's things that happen in the summertime that you're going to miss, and that's okay. But you don't just kind of like drop it because you don't feel like being there. There's a commitment that you've signed up for. So that's focused, intentional, time. And the last one is integrity. And this one here, I'll go over a few little bits. Some don't apply to you, hopefully. And really, this is us and our beliefs and our being. So we believe that Scripture has authority, right? That is the Word of God. So when we are talking with our kids, if we're not just saying, well, yeah, I sort of believe and I believe this other stuff, right? You represent the church and this is what we believe. So you maybe have to wrestle through that, and that's okay. I don't want everyone going, well, I'm just like saying these lines, right? Let me know. Say, I'm not really sure about that. You can still be a leader, but just make sure you're telling the kids this is what we're about. Exclusivity of Christ. Jesus is the only way. And I'm sure you realize it's a complicated world. There's lots going on, that there's a whole ton of other messages about what eternity can be like, how you get there. We believe Jesus dying on the cross once and for all, paid for our sins, only Jesus, not by works. Otherwise, I could walk 100 grannies across the street and earn my way to heaven. And that's not what Jesus said. That would be a wasted death if we could earn it. Right? So this is what we're telling the kids. And you'll say it in your own ways, and this really is the part of the intentionality. Through the summer, number 3 doesn't matter. Number 4 doesn't really matter. Number 5 for most of us. But those ones are, if you're in a relationship or, there's something called pornography, I want you really to try and find some accountability, someone that you can walk with and say, hey, I know God didn't intend, me to spend my time looking at inappropriate images. Or if you're in a relationship and you're being too physical, God is saying, hey, I created marriage to be, a special thing. And by you, ignoring that, right, you're cheapening the experience I have for you. And God really wants the best for you. So in these areas, I know stats that most of us in this room at one time or another are wrestling with pornography or in relationships not being sexually pure. Okay, so these are things that we really want you to find someone, and these are big problems if we're dealing with those. Alcohol, we're just going to say legal limit. If you are 19 and over, you got weddings, you got things like that, please don't get drunk. Right? This is something that's important to us as we are representing this church and Jesus. And living for the glory of God. So this one here was always one that we didn't have until I had one of my boys. His name's Graham. He's like 35 now, my boys. No, he's like 38. And he said, hey, Jer, the only place, I only have non-Christian friends, and they always go to bars. And if it was written that you couldn't go to bars, he's like, they never want to come to church. They don't ever hang out at my house. But I always drive them around when we're from the bars. Can I go and let you know when I'm going? Can I also message all my boys and ask them to pray for me so that they know I'm not going to get drunk to go party, but to build relationship into my friends? And we were like, of course. What a beautiful thing that is that we have boys understanding that the world is messy and their leader is going to be Jesus in places that probably Jesus would go. And then we let the parents know as well, because oftentimes, maybe it's different nowadays, but the parents were like, you got this leader going to a bar, he can't be a leader. We're like, well, let me tell you why he's there. It's for some beautiful purposes, right? So this is living for the glory of God. And I got to say, one of the things, when I see people's Facebook posts or they chat with me, I'm finding it harder and harder to reconcile that all of our streaming content is something we should be watching, right? There's a lot of things, and in a heartbeat, I watch stuff that if Jesus was beside me is not going to bring him glory. Some of the things we listen to, but it's really that streaming content I just know is garbage out there. Rated R, it's super graphic, and you don't even think it is because we're so desensitized. So really my encouragement to you is, as we live for the glory of God, how can we bring God glory in the way we live out our lives? So anyways, I want you to read through that a little bit more, but I'm going to play this video because it's got one of our special guests from Kids Quest Online, and if you watch it, you might be like, I remember that person. It's going to give a little bit more detail on our crim checks and safe place.
It's been a long time since I've been here. Hello, dinners. My name is Bill Tad. That's my name. Don't wear it out. You may remember me from Kids Quest Online, where I owned Mr. Mucusac's Hall of Musac. Right on, dudes. Well, hey, my video is about the part of the meeting that people usually say is grody to the max, and normally takes a fair bit of time, criminal record checks, safe place, and our covenant of being and belief. But Pastor Jer went over a few things already, but he wanted to save us some time, as if that's monster. So here's the 4-1-1. You can do two things. One, set up a long, snoring, boring meeting with Pastor Jer and read the documents together, probably real slow, in the hot lobby with Pastor Garth, munching on some Dorito chips and not sharing. Harsh. Or you can read everything on your own or with your family. Cowabunga to that. You might say, why do we need to read nowadays? I pretty much know it all. And I would say, whoa, you're the bomb. But life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Except when you read the documents, because you'll have just read it and then you'll know what you got. Oh yeah, hey. Can you smell what the rock is cooking? Because Jer and Janice want to keep you safe, keep the little chicken nugget kiddo safe, and help you succeed. And you know what? For the criminal record check, South Abbotsford Church takes this very serious. So we have everyone 12 and older fill one out. Props to Megan, because all the info you need is found with her. Like if your crim check is up to date, booyaka! If yours isn't, gag me with the spoon! But hey, Megan will have all those details. So to end this very important section, make sure you put in the work and read over Safe Place, read over Covenant of Being and Belief, watch all these little sweet training videos, and if you agree with, understand everything, and did your homework, you can sign your volunteer section. But hey, we don't want no liar pants on fire, so make sure you do the work and sign the paper. This is all about keeping those little chicken nuggets safe. Well, hey, there you have it. Yum, yum, pig's bum. We're done. Peace out. Hey, Pastor Jer, where are you? Surf's up. Don't be a beach leech. All right, grab your gear and let's rip the gnar. Oh, see ya.
Okay, so you can see Bill Ted was saying, hey, this safe place, bit of this covenant here, is to help protect you, help protect the kids. Goes through areas of abuse, what to do in certain situations. Some don't apply, but we need you to read through it if you haven't at the beginning of this year, or have a parent, or you could come with me, Bill Ted thinks, in a hot lobby, reading it really slow with Pastor Garth eating chips. Harsh and not sharing, okay? So this is something that, and on the back page, if you look, there's a little bit that you fill out. I know what it says on the last page. I read the covenant, I read the safe place, I watched the videos, which we're watching here, and something else, and you just sign it off, right? And again, if there are things in here that you're like, I don't know if I agree with, come talk with me. I want to hear that. And most likely, depending what it is, we're going to keep you in the same role. But Megan is the person, if you're like, I don't have a criminal record check, she probably emailed you, or if you just signed up today, anyways, it's important that we go through those things and have up to date. And again, it's as good as the paper is printed on, but at least we're going to deter anyone who maybe doesn't show up again from going, I'm not going to fill that out because they're going to find things about me. Any questions that you have about that? Okay. So next little video we have is, why do we serve? A lot of us, majority of us, are going to be crew leaders, like a counselor, right? Like a small group leader with these kids. And you may be going, well, I got some friends and I want to come out for this, or there's good treats. And I think there's something we can learn that is more than just, coming for ourselves and or the treats, kind of like the focused bit of Fitty. And so I think we got another special guest here who I'm going to ask you afterwards, what were some of the things that he had wrong? Check this out.
Hey, this is the time I do my stuff now for you? You just want me to make it up as I go about crew leaders? Oh, you want me to just read the lines? Okay, I could do that. I'll do my best. Hey there, my name is Jungle Jimmy. Probably remember me from Kids Quest Online. And I want to talk about the most amazing people in the world. That's you, me, the crew leaders. I personally love being a crew leader because there are so many other volunteers that we can just skip hanging with the kids, go to the kitchen for 2 hours and eat chips, freezies, and drink pop all afternoon. Pastor Jerry and Janice are real good with kids. They won't even notice if we have a food party. That's why I'm a crew leader. What? Just stick with the script, read the lines? All right, I read the lines. Here we go. Crew leaders have such an important role at SummerBLAST. They are the ones on the front lines leading and guiding the kids through activities, building relationships, leading discussion times, pointing the kids closer and closer to Jesus. Whoa. Oh, hey, that sure seems like a lot of work. How am I gonna do that and snack in the kitchen? I wonder, is that just on the last day, or do we do that all the time? Huh? What?
On the first day, you will get your group, and that is who you'll be with for the rest of the week. Help the crew to focus, to interact in discussion, to have fun during games and craft, and have an overall fantastic time. As a crew leader, you'll be leading these kids around during SummerBLAST, and will be helping them have as much fun as possible.
Oh, wow, thanks, Janice. That seems like a lot of fun and actually really meaningful. All right, I don't think I need a snack, actually. Kids are pretty good, too, Hey, what about the other guy? The one in the gray shirt who was standing there so quiet? I feel like I've seen him around before. I wonder what he's got to say, huh?
We want to ask that you be here right at 8 o'clock, especially on the first day, so that we can go over some important things about the week, talk through the day, pray together, and get to know one another.
Oh, Darren, thanks for that. Telling us that there's a purposeful meeting to get ready for the day, so each little chicken nugget gets the best we can be with the help of God. I love that. Sounds cool and amazing. Well, I'm glad we're all helping, and I got a little cheer for all of you. Volunteers, volunteers. For me now, crew leaders, crew leaders. I'm excited to be a crew leader with all the rest of you in any position you might be in. Well, I sure look forward to seeing you on time, every day, maybe 5 minutes early. And I bet if Jeremiah was here, he'd say something encouraging. I'm going to do my best Jeremiah impression. Here we go.
It's me, Jeremiah. I like llamas, and I love each of you very much. You are all good, and you are doing such a great job, and love how you sacrifice much for the kingdom. Kids' lives are going to be changed in amazing ways because you are helping this year.
That's my Jeremiah impression. All right, I'll see you all later. Can't wait for VBS. VBS with the kids. Yeah.
Did I just get roasted by Jungle Jimmy there? Come on. All right. So, hey, as crew leaders, again, we want you to be intentional when you are here and focus. It's not about like anything that you could possibly think about. It's serving these kids, helping them know and understand and love Jesus. So that was Jungle Jimmy with our crew leaders. But still, the best of times, there are things when we're prepared that kind of go off the walls. Right? If you're new, you're like, I didn't know any of these situations were going to be like this. If you've done it for many, many years, still your classroom management might just be like, that fell apart. Wasn't what I expected. Kind of like some of these crazy pictures here, right? Like the class is out of control. Well, I want you at your tables to kind of work through this question or questions for a few minutes here. What if I'm having a tough time? How can I manage my group well? And maybe what have you done before? So around your tables, brainstorm a little bit, share stories, ask questions if someone shares like, oh, what was it like when you did that? So take a few minutes to work through those questions. All right. So we're going to see if anybody has some questions they have that they need answered, or maybe you have a good answer or some good thoughts. So give me a wave if you want to answer this question. What if I'm having a tough time? How can I manage my group well? What are some experience we've had? Who's got some little nuggets here? I'm going to give you the mic just so...
And I said, now that in your snacks, if you have one of your kids that are just totally off the wall and you don't know what to do, maybe they didn't have breakfast that morning. So bring them to me and I'll give them an early breakfast. Or their snack will be a good one. And I can sit with them because I have the time. So just bring that one that's out of control. ADHD, medical reasons, all these things that these poor little munchkins have. I call them munchkins. Yeah, sweet. And so, you're welcome to bring them to me.
Oh, wonderful. So Flo is in charge of our snacks for both weeks and last year as well. And that's a good, response she had. One of the problems, we see is like, kids acting up. And I always ask of parents as well, hey, was there anything out of the ordinary with their schedule? And sometimes like, yeah, we got back from vacation, they forgot to give them breakfast. I'm like, there you go, right? If it's a one-off type of thing. Flo's in the kitchen, she sets table there, or like really close.
Okay, so Aria had a great answer for when she teaches kids in kindergarten. If they're getting too rowdy, and if you have the opportunity, then get them to get their energy out by doing an activity. So for her, she put on a song and they all dance.
Yeah. And you know what? I think oftentimes we think, the program we have has to be followed to a T, right? Like, well, this is what's scheduled, so we got, no way, Jose. Like, if you need to make changes to it, like, this child is like off the wall, we're going to go for a little walk. Like I saw Justin Ott today with the grade 4-5 boys. He was outside, and all of a sudden I saw him come in. I'm like, perfect, right? Those boys maybe weren't ready or needed to be in a classroom. So if ever there's something where you're like, hey, got to do things a little different, just do it, right? You have our blessing. If you're like walking across the busy road to like the Esso there, like let us know because we'll do it for you. But like within reason, be wise, but change it up a little bit. Anyone else?
Well, we were all kind of contributing ideas, but just stay patient and calm and don't get angry at kids. If you've got 2 leaders in your group and one kid needs an initial one-on-one time, let your helpers take time to hey, what's going on? Maybe a lot. If your whole group is really rowdy, maybe give them a break and do an activity like 10 jumping jacks or do a little bit of sunsets or something, right? Just to get them the wiggles out and then they can sit down and focus again and just redirect them. And
Yeah, perfect. Like some different strategies on like redirecting energy and, dividing and conquering. Sometimes there are leaders who they end up being like one-on-one with a child for the whole week or at clubs. And you just see this really special relationship that they have. Like Jonathan Goldsmith, he helps out with 2 boys at clubs. And like just the relationship he has, I just say, hey, I feel bad that you miss out on some stuff. And he's like, no way. This is like the most rich experiences, like getting a sense of what heaven's going to be like in the relationship he has. they got a big group, but he's always with two. So remember, you got divide and conquer.
And learning the kids' names is one of the important things. On the first day, try not to use their name tags solely. Learn their names. Know that they are known and loved.
Exactly, and that's one of the practical things we're going to go afterwards. Like, they're not all Buddy or Susie or whatever Gen Z lingo you use for, like, the same people. And use each other. Like, during the week, if you're like, you see someone has a tough child and they're doing well, and then you have a tough child a day or two later, just be like, hey, I saw yesterday this was happening. How did you deal with that? That was, like, amazing, right? This is like Gandalf, you shall not pass, right? Like, you took care of the situation. So, also, if you need any help, like we want to be, Janice and myself, the baddies, where like if we need to, we talk with parents. I'm not afraid of parents. I like talking with parents because I get to find out some of these things. So maybe write this down, put it in your phones. This is our numbers. Did I get the right one, Janice, or no? Okay, one here I had the wrong number. So just text us, phone us. You're allowed to have your phones. We'll talk about that in a second. I would recommend texting because there's so much going on. Sometimes I turn my ringer off. Well, who knows why, right? If I'm on stage, I maybe will miss a phone call, but I'll look, oh, I got to go find them really quick. Kind of like urgent. We're at the wherever you are. Come now, right? He's got the Nerf guns and he's holding us all hostage, okay? So anyways, let us know what is up. Okay, you can get it from someone if you weren't able to get it. So is there any lingering concerns or questions, or like you're like nervous about things? Are we feeling okay? Doing good? Okay? Okay, I want you to stand up right now, stretch a little bit, find someone, maybe at a different table, give them like a high five, right? Share some love. Say, hey, we could do this, right? God has equipped us to do this. You can do more than one person. Say, I don't even know you, but I'm glad we're doing this together. Oh, I got one. Nice.
I didn't know you, but we're doing this together.
Got a couple.
Who are you?
Oh, that's a good one. I got arthritis in my hands now. Old man. So every year, if you've been involved, we do the same type of conversation around cute kids. Those are my kids from, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago maybe now. And I like to take pictures of my kids. I'm really bad. I just don't find it a value for me for social media posting. Like we were on sabbatical for 3 months and I did like 3 videos and people every time were like, thank you so much for putting those. We know what's going on. I'm like, I don't like putting them up there. My kids maybe probably one day down the road are be like, I wish you wouldn't have posted every single time, you know, I went to the bathroom on the little potty. Like people don't need to see those. But if they are not your kids, right, you cannot post pictures of them. Right? You're a leader. Parents sign off and they say yes or no if it's okay to, you know, use their kids' photos for, you know, marketing purposes. Like we don't market, but like social media. But if you're taking pictures, that's okay, but you cannot share a single picture on any of your socials, plus whatever other ones are there. Don't use the loophole, oh, he didn't put the one I use up there, right? No socials. Or things that even if you don't call it socials, is a social. It's like you can't post pictures of kids. No. But Don, my man who's in, old man Don, he is in membership meeting. He's serving both weeks. He asked a good question last year. How can we phone or text you if we're not allowed our phones? So as you can see, the no smoking, probably nobody smokes really anymore, so that the no whatever symbol is almost finished off. So you can bring your phones, you can take pictures, but if ever we see you like, and it's really easy, you think you're sneaky, head down, you got like the phone head, right? Or you're just like, hunched over, bad posture. I don't have to see you looking at a phone. I just know you are. We're going to say, hey, put that thing away, right? Bring real Bibles, but we would love for you to take pictures and share them with us because we do a bad job, a hard job of taking pictures. So anyways, we want you to be able to remember these groups, but not posting them. Okay? And if you don't have a phone, don't run out and get one and say, can I finally use it at the church? Yes, Mickey. Oh, yeah. That's what, if this is where you're going with that. So if you're a parent, there's again, you know, with restraint. If you're a parent and you need to like take care of business for kids or your job in the afternoon, that's okay. And if there's connecting with older kids that aren't there, I'm okay with that. Like I don't mind that. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. And if that wasn't it, clarify with me after.
If I know you're not allowed to take pictures and like post them on like social media or something. Am I allowed to show them on show pictures of the kids or like whatever on. It's like to my parents.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. On your phone, you can show your parents, say, look at my day, right? Like these are important, developmental years for you young, middle schoolers and senior hires as you're serving. That like, I had a film camera back in the day. Cost me $20, to buy the film, and make the film into a picture. So I didn't take many pictures, but you are in a cool time where you can have these memories that will help shape you. So anyway, so that is the bit about phones. Come ask me afterwards. We got social media. If you're not a part of it, the South Abbey Kids, easy to find. We got another little guest here going to share some important things about our drop-off, our pickup, and leaders meeting. And if you can't understand, it's because this gym is terrible and you're just like, I really couldn't understand the whole way through because of the thick accent. Watch it online. It'll be up tomorrow afternoon. I'll have it all online. And you're just like, you probably had something valuable to say because that's why they filmed this special guest. So here is one of my friends that sometimes is misunderstood.
It's been a long time since I've been in Canada. I just spent all my time in the Netherlands, and maybe people will remember me from Kids Quest Online. So, hey, Pastor Jeremiah, what should I start? What you want me to do? Oh, okay. Drop off and pick up. Okay, I can talk about the drop off and pick up. Hello, my name is Gus. You Canadians always think my name is Gus. That's so funny and crazy. It's spelled G-U-S-S. Gus. It's a Dutch name. Isn't that neat? Well, I want to share a little bit about drop off at the beginning and pick up. So sweet, right? At the beginning of the day, all you leaders and me will be on time for the start of our meeting at 8 a.m. So make sure you show up earlier if you need to be on time. Our meeting will help us all prepare for the day, find encouragement in our new friendships, and focus these little thinkers as we pray for each other and the kids. And then at 8:35, kids will be dropped off by the parents, signed in, and the kids will find you in the lobby to hang out till 9 a.m. It's going to be awesome. Feel free to climb up on the climbing wall or play in the gym or enjoy the party in the sanctuary. Always so great. This is a great time for crew leaders to build into the early kids that come, before everyone else and get ready for a great day with friends and you. You may say, what do I do though? I don't know how to make small talk. That's what my old Oma Wilhelmina used to say. Don't do small talk. Let me help you. Start by asking them questions like, how are they doing? Or what are they looking forward to this summer after the VBS? Think of some funny jokes like, where does a pirate keep his cookies? In his cookie jar. Maybe tell them a story, play a game. You could do something really cool with them. Maybe would you rather? Hey, that's the start of the day. At the end of the day, chapel ends at 12:45. Parents are going to sign out the kids, pick them up in the sanctuary. And even some parents join us. Oh, I love that. But here's one tip, right? This is straight from the Netherlands to you. When talking to parents, and especially grandparents, never look them in the eyes. Never when you're talking. I'm serious. I've heard this causes aggression, and they might eat you. So don't look them in the eyes. Oh, maybe that's only in the Netherlands with the Dutch people. I don't know about Canadians. Hey, for the kids, make sure they take all their stuff home. And if a parent is a little bit late, then you get a wonderful blessing where you get to grab that child and you get to put him in a cage. That's right, a little tiny cage until the parents come. Just like we do in Holland. What? Just read the script, don't make things up. All right, what does it say here? Rather than putting them in a small cage, it would have been air conditioned. Okay, I'll just read the script then. Instead of the cage, you'll hang out with all your kids till they're picked up. Well, that kind of sounds better. If you only have a couple, head to the lobby, get the end of the day snack, and then let Jeremiah or Janice know that there are some late kids, and they'll phone the parents to remind them to pick them up. Yeah, that's better than the cage. Because we don't want anyone to be left alone by themselves. Then last, for each of you leaders, this is you, me, anybody, not just the crew leaders, once all the kids have left, we'll have a small, short meeting at 1 p.m. to close off the day. So please, all of you volunteers, tell your parents to pick you up around 1:10, no earlier. And we're not talking Dutch time, we're talking Vancouver time. Oh, well, that's all I have. I'm finished.
this way. Oh, that was so very fun. So you can see there's a lot of important things that Hus shared with us. Hus, right? And if you couldn't understand it, I would encourage you to watch it again, but there was lots around showing up before 8 o'clock, the importance of our leaders' meetings, what we're going to do, what the first little bit is like, and then the last little bit. But what are some crazy things that Hus does in the Netherlands that we probably should not do here? Yeah. Yeah, put kids in cages, little cages, even if it's air conditioned. It was kind of told to you, but what should you do if parents are a little bit late? Yeah. Hang out with them. What are some of the ways we can hang out at the end of the day with them? Liam.
Oh, I was going to say another thing.
Okay, hold off on that thought then. What else could you do? What does hanging out look like? Yeah.
You could who said, would you rather's, or just ask them what was their favorite part of the day, just stuff like that.
Yeah, just build intentional conversation. There's dessert. They don't want to miss all the frozen ice creams we have every single day. So there's lots to do. There was one other bad advice that he gave. His pro tip was like poop tip, okay? What was it?
Look other places when talking to adults.
Yeah.
Look them in the eye.
Never, ever look a parent or grandparent in the age when you're talking to them. It causes aggression and they'll eat you, right? That was a Dutch thing, what he said. He says, I don't know about you Canadians, maybe it's different, okay? So where should we look when we're talking to the kids' parents or the rides? In their eyes, not their feet, okay? Hus was a little bit wrong on that. So, do you guys remember these characters from Kids Quest Online? That was like 4 or 5 years ago now. It was nice having these guys over last night. So anyways, there's some important things there. We're going to do a little brainstorming and... Oh, there we go. And we heard some of them, what are some good things, practical things you can do to be a good leader? And so Carlina shared one, knowing their names, right? You may have to take a picture and then you look at it okay, this was, okay? So what are some good things we could do to be a good leader? Not like Hus would be. Yeah. Get to know them. Yeah, and Liam shared some of those things. Hus shared some of those things. What are other things that if we wanted to be a good leader, we could say they're good compared to that one?
Make sure each kid feels included and that none of them are going off to the side alone.
Okay, so make sure they all feel included. So maybe you create a little rotation of things, right? Some groups this might work for, hey, today we want to have someone carry our crew bag around. And then next day it's going to be someone else, right? We want you to be the first person to grab the snacks, right? So these are ideas that maybe you're never thought of those. Those are good. What else makes a really good leader?
Engage with the kids.
Engage with the kids. Yes. So always being focused around them and with them. What else? Yeah.
Get enough sleep.
Oh, that's a good one. Get enough sleep, right? This actually is a battleground, right? The flesh is at war with the spirit. And if you are tired, right, there will be different temptations you're going to have outside of SummerBLAST, maybe at SummerBLAST. You're also going to have, you're not going to bring your best, right? Some of you sometimes, my dad's extra cranky. And you can look back a little bit, there was something going on, it was up late, we had to be a tournament way out of town and he's cranky, right? You will be the same way. So I've never had that one shared. That's very good. So please, for this week, and we're going to be working you hard. So you're going to be I'm tired. And then we'll say, Carlina said, go to bed. Okay, what else? That was a really good one. That's as practical as it gets. Be excited, yes. Right? And we don't need to be excited like Pastor Mike would be or I would be all the time. That scares kids. And I've told stories before about this where my wife was stop telling all your summer staff to be crazy like you, because that's not their personality and it freaks lots of kids out. Not every kid likes you is what Anya said. I was okay, you're right. Right? But we still participate in everything. Any other really good ideas? These have all been very good. Yes?
Remember to pray for your kids.
Oh, yeah. It's not just, a summer camp where we're just, doing everything without God. We want Jesus at the center of this. So for sure, we're going to pray for our kids, not just when you're here, but this is the focused part. Maybe a half hour before in the morning, You're saying, I'm going to pray for my kids. I'm going to be, thinking about them in the afternoon. Very good. Yes?
Sort of the question from earlier, but also this one.
Yep.
Kids are a lot smarter than you think.
Yeah.
And also treat them like adults.
Yes. Kids are way smarter than you think, and that shows up as when they're 3. But for sure when they're like elementary, give them some respect, right? Don't just treat them like dismissive, right? They are learning, they're watching, they're taking their cues, and they remember when they were treated well or treated like they weren't important. So yeah, they catch on to a lot of things. Just be polite, yeah. Yeah. And some of these things, like you might be like, I don't do that very good. So you're going to learn as well through this. And that's why we love our young leaders, because you become excellent leaders down the road. You're good leaders now, but I want the best leaders. And I get that when you serve in middle school and then continue on from there. Okay. Yes. Yes, positive attitude and be encouraging. Hey, that's one I forgot about. This one of the things I like least, because I think it's really lazy humor, is sarcasm. And when you think of sarcasm is never like the type of humor that like builds people up. It's always pointing fingers at someone who maybe doesn't get a joke or it cuts them. So that's one that'll be really quick. If I hear sarcasm or humor that cuts people, I'll be like, whoa, we don't do that here, right? And so I want you each, this is one of our values, that hold each other accountable. We were like, whoa, I probably shouldn't have laughed at that, but we've got to get better at not doing that. And some of us just ingrained in us. Like, I like to trick people, right? And so it's lying in a sense, right? I trick, I do these things, right? So I need to work on that. My humor probably needs to change in certain things, but sarcasm is one that, like, I hope I don't do very often. And if I do it, just say, hey, Jer, that seemed like sarcasm. I'll be like, thank you for helping me be better. This is super young Janice and super young Darian.
The opening and closing chapels are what starts and ends SummerBLAST every day. They're a time of fun, games, singing worship songs, watching skits, and diving into the overall theme of the day. These will be held in the auditorium. When you begin to hear one of us round everyone up, gather your kids in the auditorium and sit with them in the chapel times. Your role here is to be engaging with your group, whatever that looks like. Encourage them during worship times, help everyone to speak up during discussion times, help them be a little still and quiet during talking times, and simply have fun with them. After our opening chapel, groups will begin going through the cycle of the day. We'll let your crew leaders know your group's order for the cycle.
The Bible teaching time will be happening down in the chapel. This is an interactive time of learning more about a specific Bible story, and we'll be diving more into the theme of the day. Try to be engaged yourself in those times, and try to help keep your kids engaged as well.
Games will either be played on the field outside the West Foyer or will be played in the gym, depending on the weather, the type of game, and other details. Expect to meet for the game outside on the field. Listen well while the games are being explained, because it is likely that one of your crew members are staring at Pastor Steve's super cool car and aren't listening, and they'll have lots of questions for you. Games are so fun, so try and participate and hype your group up in the games.
Crafts will be done outside behind the gym where the fire pit and the big tree are. We will have tables set up for the kids to do their craft. Feel free to participate in making the craft along with your kids. It is fun to do things alongside them. But keep an eye out. If they are ever struggling or need help, go and help them. In the end, it doesn't matter that your craft gets finished, but that the kids get to finish their craft. Have fun doing it, and that you are building relationships with them. You are there to assist and help the craft leader, but you can also have fun along the way.
Snack time is where you can be together with friends to eat something and enjoy each other's company. We will have the snack prepared for you and your kids, and we'll enjoy it outside, either in the fenced area by the big tree in the fire pit or in the games field. Feel free to spread out around that area, but try and stay engaged with your group. This would be an amazing time to talk about how fun the day has been so far, what stood out in the chapels or Bible times, or to continue playing fun games like I Spy or Would You Rather.
We will also have some small chunks of free time where your group can do something together for a few minutes. Try the bouldering wall, run through the sprinkler, spray each other with water guns, kick a soccer ball, play in the gym. Do something fun together.
Next one is, we got some what ifs. So, what happens if someone says, I gotta go whiz? Gotta go to the bathroom? Well, like all the rest of the ministries, just bring them aside, walk them to the bathroom, say, hey, do well, wash your hands, clean up any mess, and then just wait for them in the lobby or by the doors, and when they're finished, make sure they wash their hands and go back to what you were doing. You don't have to don't go in with them, you don't have to see if everything's okay. They're gonna be okay. They're old enough, all right? That's the bathroom for you. What about if somebody gets hurt? If somebody gets hurt, well, find any of us. We get first aid all around. We're gonna bandage kids up, clean them up, put a sling on, whatever it might be. If it's something really bad, we're gonna pray against that, but just let us know, and then we will figure out if we gotta call an ambulance. We'll connect with the families. We will do all that, but you just let us know if something happens. So if someone does get hurt, small to big, always find us and we'll take care of it. What happens if a kid isn't feeling well? Let us know right away and we'll just phone the parents. So we're just gonna pray that, we do our best jobs to make sure we're spread properly around and that our kids aren't getting it and our families aren't getting it, because this is something that nobody wants. So if a kid is sick though, you do have to tell us right away and then we will call to have them picked up. That was me with major wild hair 4 years during COVID. I was like, I'm only going to cut it once this year. If something happens, fire, I don't hear that happening very often, but if that happens, earthquake, someone on premises that is causing, it to be unsafe, we will either lock doors if that's unsafe, but if it's any other thing, we have a muster station, which is just out these doors, back corner, big sign that doesn't say mustard, but muster station, and that's where we go. And then we're going to make sure we count and check and find all of our kids at that point. We're not running through the building because maybe they were in a bathroom and someone else took them. Okay?
In the event of an emergency, such as a power failure, fire, or earthquake, keep calm. Take the attendant's clipboard or nursery binder and lead the children single file to your nearest exit. Remember, non-walkers will need to be carried out. Safely lead the children to the muster station and direct them to sit down. Use the attendance sheet to account for each child. Parents will be instructed to meet their children at the muster station rather than trying to find their children in their classrooms. Check off the attendance sheet as children are picked up by their parents.
First aid, this is a good one. So Megan, I mix her names up all the time. Megan, years I've been doing this. Megan is going to be our first aid station lady. She has her first aid certification, most recent. We set up for most days in the prayer room, which is the room over here. If you don't know it as the prayer room, the room over here. And it's cooler. We have activities for kids. Sometimes they just feel like a little bit, go ahead, Megan.
Week 1, I will be in the staff in the main offices because Sophia is on vacation and I need to cover home.
Perfect. So we've done it in the past where just in the offices is where we have lunch. We take that over and make beds if we need to. And anyways, it's just activities to calm them down, cool them down. And it might be just we heard earlier, go to the craft. Maybe kids just need to chat with someone different for a little bit. So this is, some of the things that we get to, help them with by those people that maybe aren't crew leaders. If there's questions, I'll field them now. If not, yes, Janice.
Can you see if anyone else has first aid?
Oh yeah. How many people have certified first aid that they know is still valid? 1, 2. Okay, not many of us. And there might be more come that time. But we're going to try in the future to get first aid coming on site here, and we've looked into that for anybody that wants it. So for this summer, we won't have many more. But for future years, we'll pay for it. It'll be fun. We'll give you food. We want to have more and more people certified and or babysitters. If you're like, I want to take a babysitter course, we'll pay for that too so that you can make money and we have people to help out our families. I'm going to skip all of this. It looks good, but we're going to pass that. So we're going to just quickly go over this. This is some practical things we heard already. This is everyone, so we chatted, and some of these maybe are going to be reflected in that. But one of the things you can think of, hey, when I'm here, everyone needs someone to see them, right? You're asking things like, how was your day? What are the things you like, right? Especially if you notice they're off a little bit. They want to be noticed, and they notice when they're not noticed. That's even a bigger thing, right? It cements in their hearts, wow, nobody cared about me. So that's very important. And we see this in different stories of Jesus. We just want to make sure you are noticing them. Next one is stop and take some time, right? Jesus didn't just bam, you're healed, ta-da, look at that. All right, if you follow me in the next 5 minutes as you're walking, something's going to happen, right? Jesus took the time and he stopped I don't know what his plans would have been, or he had that buffer maybe, but he was ready to take the time that the people needed in different situations, right? And you are on the front lines, and in a very personal way, you can be something that maybe these kids have never really experienced. Someone who's not rushed, someone who's able to like pour into them and just slow down for a minute. And so we had talked about co-leaders. So this is one of those things in helping them know that they are loved and noticed. And last, when you show up consistently, you really, really, really are able to impact their lives. Kind of like I said in the beginning little story of me and my boys and their boys, right? In such a short time, there's a consistency that impacted each of that generation that they served as well. Nothing more beautiful than that. So some of these things we'll do in our morning devotions and leader training time. So that's why we have those times. And again, this is the intentional part, helping kids get to know each other. Not just you, not just another leader, but like doing things to help them find out about each other's stories. You find something cool about how God is working, you tell them, hey, Johnny here, just visited his grandparents, and he is so thankful to God for a great trip. Housekeeping. We got name tags. We need to wear them all the time because some of you are smaller than some of these kids, or you look younger anyways, and the parents won't know you're their leader. So we've got name tags. Here's going to be our rotation, mostly. You don't have to write that down, but we start with leaders meeting, hang with the kids, opening chapel, 4 rotations, closing chapel, kids picked up, and then we have leaders meeting, home time. So please just tell your parents, 8:10. Yes, Liam?
Where do we find that schedule if we want to?
It's going to be on your name tags, and if you'd like it, email me, and then we'll send you like anything from this.
Okay.
Or you can watch it online, actually. I'm going to post this online.
Yeah.
And then on the first day is the only day we want you here ready to go by 8, because with registration, we got to get to the kids, and there's a little bit more that we have to go through on other days. Like you're like, I don't know about this one. Where's my bag? Who's my kids? What am I actually doing? Right? Who am I leading with? Right? So all these things will get to you ahead of time, but maybe you lost it, or we didn't, or we missed you. Talked about some of that stuff. On the Friday each week, if you're serving at either of them, we want to have a meal afterwards with your families. It's not going to be pizza. Hold me to that. But so it's going to be like spaghetti probably, or just something easy that the crew's going to make. So we would love for you, if you're not busting to vacation, to stay for that meal, just as a thank you for serving and a blessing to your families who, if they drove you, they got up early in the middle of summer, and when they were like, finally, can have a sleep in, and they couldn't. And lastly, on the Sunday after our second week, we're having a SummerBLAST takeover. So if you can be at that, just to be there with your kids, we're going to have a little hot dog roasting or some food and treats after the service. And it's just like we do a day 6. So we kind of run through things. We've had fun with it in the past. Silly, there's a little teaching time in it. And really the church gets to be blessed by the excitement of our kids. And last, participate in everything. Like I said, this isn't something that you have to be as crazy as we are, but we don't want you just sitting in your seats, right? At the beginning, there's lots of fun opening videos that we've gotten better at over the years, that these kids are in the sanctuary 15 minutes before. Go up there with them. If you don't sing or you got a sore throat, just like join them up there. Hit the water noodles together. I doubt Peaches is big this year, but it was crazy last summer. They loved Peaches so much. Like, maybe that's still big, I don't know. But like, just get involved in all those things. In the games, especially in the games, they want to get you wet. If you sign up as a crew leader, just be prepared to get wet. Rain or shine, cold or warm, bring extra clothes. They want to get you wet. And there's nothing more disappointing when a kid goes, oh, all the other leaders do it. My leader doesn't want to do it, or isn't letting me, or got really mad when I threw a thing of water at them like it was a surprise they were going to go wet when Luke was running a water game. Okay? So please, in all these different things, participate in your own ways, right? Of course, there's, things we have to be flexible in, and it's like you're allergic to water, you get cold and you get rashes, then don't play. But we want to make sure we're as invested in everything as we can. We're going to do postcards on the last day, or through the week. This is something you can do afterwards that we send out at Christmas time. And last year I did like 20 of them because like some of you didn't do it. So we'll tell you more about this later. We're going to have crazy stuff. Any questions, ask me after. 22 days till kickoff. Anybody even know who this guy is anymore? That show is like so gone, right? Anyways, we got 22 days, big smiley face, till if you're on the first week. I can't wait. I want you now, the last thing we're going to do is, and we're going to go open up the freezers while you're doing this, is take some time and pray together. Prayer requests around anything in your life right now, anything SummerBLAST. Doesn't have to be just SummerBLAST, because we want to care for you as a person. And so do some requests, then start to pray, and then when you're done, just try and be quiet for a little bit, and in 5 minutes, so that you're going to be 7 minutes past when we normally are. I blame it on Jonathan. We were supposed to start 15 minutes before he was done preaching. Then we're going to dismiss you. So anyways, take some time. Oh, Janice has some stuff.
If you haven't filled out a registration form for volunteering, Megan has them here today at the back, or come find me so I have your name. If you decided to drop in from the service today and want to volunteer, also talk to me. If you are a serve kid, did not confirm you're coming today, tell me, because I don't actually know all of the serve kids. And if you have group checks that are ready to be done, Megan is here. So after we're done and finished praying, you can get your ID verified with her and have that completely finished and all the forms and stuff done. So come and find me if you haven't talked to me already about volunteering or talked to Jared about volunteering. Find me before you leave so I know you were here.
Okay, that's wonderful. So take some time to pray for each other, pray for the kids coming. Again, we can continue praying outside of here, and then when you're done, and then pray for each other, then go and grab some treats, and then see if your rides are here. So thank you, everybody. Love you. I really appreciate you coming and serving this summer.